All right. Dang, need my flags, man. Living in America. Living in America. All right. So for all you guys that may not know where that song is from, Rocky IV. Yes, Rocky IV. One of the best Rocky movies, I'd have to say.
Yeah,
right.
That's the one.
Absolutely,
Rocky
absolutely.
Into the Cold War. For those of y'all who don't know, it was not President Reagan. It was Rocky. He ended the Cold War.
All right. The truth has been spoken. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 26 of the Qierre and Wesley Show. I'm your host, realtor and author of the Blueprint to Successfully Selling Your Home, Qierre McGlory. Along with me, my business partner, my lender, Mr. Moneyman himself, and actually home loan sales manager of Orange County, Mr. Wesley Oliver. How are you doing today, sir?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I woke up this morning. I felt a little patriotic. I don't know if you guys can tell, you know, with the red, white, and blue I'm sporting, and the red, white, and blue hat, and the red, white, and blue sunglasses, and the red, white, and blue suit, and the red tie, and the socks. I don't know if you guys can see the socks. I don't want to knock over anything, but you see those socks right there? Right there, baby. Right there. American flag, baby. Patriotic socks. Yes. So, next Wednesday, it's going to be the 4th of July, Independence Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you think of 4th of July, Independence Day, what do you think of, Wes?
The American Revolution. Of course, fireworks.
Okay.
Barbecues.
Barbecues, exactly. Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Just celebrate with family.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, for you guys out there, I want to share a little knowledge with you. So besides the fact that, 4th of July is a time that we get together with the family, watch some fireworks, go to parades, taking all in those summer activities, there's another reason why we celebrate the 4th of July. It's so special because it's also Independence Day. It's a holiday celebrating the anniversary of signing of the Declaration of Independence. In 1776, founding father and soon-to-be president Thomas Jefferson wrote what is now the United States' most famous and cherished document to give a list of grievances against King George III of England. It was written to justify the colonies breaking away from the mother country and becoming an independent nation. Revised by Benjamin Franklin and John Adams, the Declaration of Independence was signed by our founding fathers and accepted by Congress on July 4th, 1776. So that's your education moment right there.
All right.
Yes. Also wanted to talk about next Wednesday, Anaheim Hills is having its 30th annual 4th of July parade. You guys can see it here. There's going to be several events going on the Friday. We're going to have, starting at, I believe at 7 o'clock, we're actually going to have I think I have another sheet. We're actually going to have a 5K, a 10K. It's going to be at Canyon High School. So if you can register, I think you have until the 1st. I think you have until possibly tomorrow to register, if not today. So you can participate in the 5K and the 10K tomorrow on Wednesday. It's going to start at 7. I believe it starts at 7. So it goes on for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's about 7 to about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then right after that, immediately is going to be the pancake breakfast. You can purchase tickets for the pancake breakfast, or you can do the registration at AnaheimHillsCouncil.org. I'm also going to put the information in the post, so you guys don't have to worry about remembering. You just click on the post to register. So the pancake breakfast will start at 9 o'clock. We'll also have the Yankee Doodle dog show that will also start at 9 o'clock. So you'll have the breakfast, and you also get to see some nice dogs, in the contest. So, and then right after the contest, we're actually going to have the start of the 4th of July parade. It's going to start at 1 p.m. There's going to be over 76 entries in the parade.
Wow.
Yes, 76 entries.
Does that mean 76 floats?
Yes, that means like 76 floats exactly. So it's going to be a lot of floats. So it's definitely going to be a good time. So definitely, you definitely want to check it out. So one of the guests that are actually going to be on the float, I'm very excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's very excited about it. I'll give you a hint. She works at Disneyland. Her husband's last name is Mouse.
Oh, that would be Minnie.
Minnie Mouse, indeed. Yeah. Yes, Minnie Mouse is going to be one of the special guests at the 4th of July parade. So if you guys got kids, I'm sure a lot of them are probably Minnie Mouse fans, so you definitely want to go see that. I'm not sure if she's actually be stopping and taking pictures and stuff, but she's going to be at the parade, so I'm sure it's going to be a great time. So like I said, the parade runs from usually about 1 to 3. Could run a little longer because we got, like I said, 76 entries, so it may run a little longer. And then right after that, there's actually going to be at Peralta Park, there are actually going to be a bunch of booths. I believe there's going to be about 35 vendors at Peralta Park. So that's going to start at 4 o'clock. So you go there, they'll have food, drinks, different corporations, organizations are going to be providing items out there, doing games. So it's going to be a good time. Yeah, and then at 6 o'clock, there's actually going to be a band performing. Actually, I believe there's going to be like 6 bands performing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty fun event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all these events going on, and then last but not least, the fireworks show, which everyone always looks forward to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually going to start at 9 p.m. So you'll be able to go. Well, if you're already at the park, you just gotta pick a good spot, and get to enjoy those fireworks at 9 p.m.
Yep. That's when the explosions go off.
That's when the explosions go off. And for you pet people that have dogs and cats, you may want to keep them indoors because I know with the loud noise doesn't really do well. And my daughter actually doesn't really like fireworks that much. So we actually got her some soundproof headphones. So we haven't used them yet. So we're going to wait and use them on Wednesday to see how it goes. So have you ever gone to the parade before?
I have not been to that parade. I don't think I've ever been to a parade on 4th of July.
Oh, okay. We don't really like crowds much.
Yeah, I think, it's funny you say that because one parade I probably have been to on 4th of July was at Disneyland. We actually went to Disneyland one year when I was a kid on 4th of July. But outside of that, no.
And you're talking about when you're a kid, so that's when it was kind of involuntary. You know what I mean? You didn't really have a choice in the matter.
Well, no, but I mean, I'd love to go to Disneyland when I was a kid. So,
right. Yeah,
it wasn't like the kids today where they have the passes and everything.
Right.
Disneyland was like a once a year thing.
Absolutely.
Maybe once a couple of years. So it was really celebratory thing when you heard the news you guys are going to Disneyland.
Shoot, man. I was like, man, it was a celebratory thing. We're going to a restaurant.
Yeah.
That was a big deal for us. Like, hey, we're going to do you remember a restaurant called Bicycle Club?
I do.
Yeah, man. I remember that when we were kids. We used to have, that was like our spot. So I remember, when we knew, it's like, all right, we're going to the Bicycle Club.
Yeah.
Like, all right, perfect. Make sure everyone's dressed,
Mm-hmm.
We went, have a good time, made sure we were well behaved because if we acted up, we're not going back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I remember those days.
Yeah, so it was the most magical place on earth back then.
It still is. It still is. My wife and daughter are there today, actually. So it still is the most magical place on earth.
Okay. Well, as an adult and a parent, it's like you're thinking about parking, what's it going to cost to get in, what the line's going to be like.
Right.
What's the weather going to be like? It's going to be too hot.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I heard? Walt Disney actually created Disneyland for adults. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a place where adults can relive their childhood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know Michael Jackson definitely wanted to do that.
Yeah, with Neverland. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Shaq is still, Shaquille O'Neal's still bummed because he couldn't go when he was a kid. Now he's way too big to fit on anything there.
Oh, shoot, I'd imagine, man. But I guess he can always buy it and then, like, reconfigure the ride or something for his size.
I guess he could. That'd be a lot of work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but like I said, for people that are looking for a fun event to go to, I totally recommend going to the Anaheim Hills 30th annual 4th of July parade celebration. My wife and I have gone for the last couple of years. We've always had a great time, and this year we're going to try to stay for the fireworks and see how our daughter's headphones go, so we can actually, just spend the day there. It was, like I said, the last year when we went, it was awesome. Like, the parade was great. Got to see a lot of veterans participating there, so that's always awesome. Had a bunch of different bands go, and they were playing and everything like that. So, it was definitely a good time. Not to mention, just being able to, see, familiar faces in the neighborhood and the community and stuff like that, and really being able to, be more interactive.
Fellowship is always a good thing.
Yeah. So like I said, 30th annual.
Any tips on the parking situation?
Well, actually, that's funny you say that because they actually mentioned in the meme this morning that you can actually park on San Anaheim Road. But they're actually not going to ticket you. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I guess there's some type of arrangement they made with the police department, I guess. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's specific spots because obviously the parade runs through it. Right. But I believe it's probably after the parade that you can actually park. Okay. So when you go to Peralta Park, because I believe, like I said, the events start there at 4 o'clock. So when you actually go to the park, you can actually go there during that time. So.
That's from the parks on San Ana Canyon?
Yeah, it's just right across from the post office.
Okay.
And then, it's right across from the post office, and then, like, Seven Gables is right there. And then you have Peralta Park.
Okay. Yeah.
So it runs on San Ana Canyon Road. So it's like right there. Yeah, it's a nice park. It's huge. It's big. It's a cool park. So, like you said, make sure you guys go. And if you guys want to participate in everything, make sure to go to AnaheimHillsCouncil.org so you guys can register and sign up. And like I said, I'm going to put in the post so you guys will know what is going on. Now, the next part of our episode today is Wes. What's up with the market?
It's actually been pretty tame this week. Whenever you have a lot of questions about what's going on, with the marketplace and with policies and whatnot. And of course, we have a few different tops spinning in the way of, are we in the midst of a trade war? Are we not? What's going to happen with tariffs and things like that. Right. It's kind of made people invest a little more in the bond market, which has made it, kind of stabilize it a little bit. We were above that 3% mark for the 10-year Treasury bond not too long ago. Now we're, slightly under it. So it's, it's gotten a little better. Don't expect, rates to go back down, to 3%, but it's better. But, I always say strike while the iron's hot because you have no clue, when some of these things start to get really ugly or get resolved and whatnot. So don't take this as a sign that, well, maybe I should just hang out for another 5, 6, 7 months and see where we end up. It may not be the best choice.
Absolutely. I mean, and do you see any type of indication that the interest rates would somehow go down?
Not significantly. Because like I said, when you're with a market that's unstable like that in flux, I mean, it can fluctuate, like a pendulum back and forth between, a quarter of an eighth here and there. But that's why I said don't expect things to go down below 4% again, consistently.
I see.
Yeah, I think we're still, because remember, the Fed is still expected to raise rates a couple more times before the year's over. So I would still say don't expect, things to get like a lot better or significantly better. Right. But now's a pretty good time compared to where we started at the beginning of the year. And it's just crazy. I mean, can you believe it? We're halfway through the year already, just about.
That is crazy to think about.
It is. It is. I mean, I'm sure for a lot of you out there, you were thinking, man, I just made the New Year's resolution I'm going to not uphold 6 months ago.
Hey, at least you got through February, right?
Yeah, I mean, it goes quickly. I mean, it's going to be Halloween before you know it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I only say that because if you're someone that, is planning to purchase a home before the year is over, like I said, that time's going to come and go before you know it. And trust me, it's not a fun thing to try to move during, Christmas season.
Absolutely.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Not fun. One positive thing, though, is if you can get some great Black Friday deals if you need appliances and things like that. But
right, for your new home. But you don't buy any appliances while you're in escrow?
Don't buy
any appliances. Disclaimer. Do not buy any appliances while you're in escrow. Don't do that.
And definitely don't charge them on a credit card.
So don't buy new appliances while you're in escrow, and do not charge them on your credit card.
Yeah.
So use someone else's credit card. That's not part of your transaction. That's not part of your loan. So make sure you do that.
Yeah, call mom and dad.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. You pay them back after you close escrow.
Yeah. So, the market, like I said, it hasn't gotten it hasn't gotten way worse. Probably not going to get significantly better.
Right.
So, basically, you just have to decide if right now is the right time for you to buy a home. And if it is, then do what you need to do to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then coming from the agent side, what we're starting to see, we're actually starting to see homes stay on the market longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it seemed to have made a shift. I would probably say about the second week of March, starting to see a little switch. Starting to see homes stay on the market maybe a few more days on the market than normal. And then 7 more days longer than the market normal. And then 12 more days longer. Right. And now we're probably looking at an additional, let's say, 18 plus days on the market from what we saw, in March. And that was only a few months ago.
Yeah, there's one of my neighbors is selling their place, and at that point, this was like a month ago.
Right.
I'm thinking that place is going to go before you know it. And just last week, they were still doing open houses, and I talked to the agent on it yesterday. Yeah. They've done a price reduction and still looking for the right buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, that one's been on for a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so they are sitting out there a little bit longer. Like I said, I think part of that is attributed to people noticing what's going on with the interest rates, going up a little bit. And then also people are still shaking it off from that time period where there was a lot of people looking and not a lot out there to buy.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people have decided, I'm just going to hang out till the summer. There's supposed to be more stuff coming on the market. Then I'll get back into it then. So I expect it'll probably heat up here pretty soon, especially all the graduations were just completed.
Right, exactly.
All the kids are out of school and whatnot. So I think it'll probably start to pick up here shortly. But, yeah, I think right now people are just coming in out of the rain.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And to give out some advice out there to people that are thinking about selling their homes and they want to put their house on the market, I think right now you have to be a little more conservative. If you put your house back in the market, let's say back in January, maybe some part of February, maybe you can get away with listing it a little above what the market is. But I think at this point now is you got to be a little more conservative, because the problem is when you come on the market higher than the market now, you're going to start having to do price reductions. And that's like the last thing you want to do. Right. When you start doing price reductions, at this point you're chasing the market. You know what I mean? You had the opportunity to list at market price, but you decided to list above it. So now you're doing these price reductions and you're chasing the market.
Right.
And then when you do that, people start to see that. And then people start to see that. They may think that you are motivated to sell. So all of a sudden you're starting to get lower offers.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is how I treat it. Like I'll change it up because I normally use like a club analogy. I'll say this, right? Like let's say you're at a let's see here. Okay, let's say you're at a I like the club analogy actually. Okay, so you're at a club, right? And no, I don't want to use a club. I'll keep it a little PG. Let's see here. So something that's nice and new. Okay, let's say here. All right, you're at a car dealership, right? You see this nice new car, correct? And then this car is nice. They just got it just right, fresh off the lot and everything like that, right?
Right.
You have another car that's listed right next to it. This car's been on this lot for like 2 weeks, you know? And it was listed above that price car that was next to it.
Right.
Now they're listed at the same price. Now, if you're looking at these two cars, they're both the same. Right. Right? But you know that this car right next to it has been on the lot longer. So if a person's going to look and say, I have a choice between a brand new car that just hit this lot, or I could choose another car that's at the same price that's been on this lot for a month, most likely the person's going to choose the car that just came on the lot. Right. Even though they're the same exact car, even though they're the same exact miles, even though they're the same price and everything like that. Nothing's different. But the fact that this car has been out longer and it has been seen more by more people, it's automatically going to look less valuable than the one that just came on the market. So that's when it comes to your house. Because if a person looks and say, oh, this person's house has been on the market for over 30 days, and then another new house comes on the market, same price as yours, same model as yours, same everything, they're going to go with that new house because they may think that there may be something wrong with your house. Like, why hasn't it sold? Right. You know what I mean? So if you are thinking about putting your house on the market, you definitely want to make sure that you are a little more conservative and you come in at market or come in a little below market, because chances are if you do come in below market, you can get multiple offers and you drive the price up. And somebody can actually drive the price up above market value. I have done it and I continue to do it to this day. So just wanted to kind of give you some food for thought there. So.
Yeah, or they'll just think that because your home's been on the market for so long, especially if you have to go through a price reduction, now they think you're ripe for negotiations. And now they're coming in there, even though you've already reduced the price, you have the buyer and their agent coming in there saying, hey, I think we can do better. They're obviously desperate.
Absolutely.
It's been on the market for X amount of days, and they're reducing the price. I think we got some room to negotiate here. And they're going to ask you for the world. So yeah, it's something to consider.
Absolutely. So if you guys are thinking about selling your houses, make sure that you do price accordingly. This is not the time to reach for the stars here. That was back in January and February. Right now, it's really time to be a little more serious about it. And really, because, I mean, chances are, I would say probably over 99% of the people that sell their house, they want to buy another one. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, you know, if you're going to sell your house, you want to make sure that you're timing it accordingly, because, you know, if you're not pricing your house right to sell and you need to sell your house, you're not going to get your house in escrow. Right. You know, because a lot of people go what's called contingent. What meaning by contingent is that you need to sell your house because you need the funds from your house in order to purchase another house. So that's what contingent is. And for the most part, most people are contingent when it comes to them selling their house and buying another one. So you want to make sure that you're really conservative when it comes to selling your house, because you want to make sure that you get your house sold so you can buy the next house. Because it's actually funny because at our mixer we had last evening, you know, one of the people that came, their friend was in escrow on a new house they wanted to buy, but their house never got into escrow. Oh. You know, so now they're at the point where they're going to have to cancel their escrow because they never was able to get their house into escrow. Yeah. You know, that's a crappy situation to be in. I mean, normally what I do is I usually want to make sure to get the seller's house in escrow first before we actually get an escrow on the new house. Right. So then you can really negotiate the terms at that point. You know, maybe do a longer escrow on your house. You know, let's say, for an example, maybe you do a 60-day escrow, right? You go out and look at houses. You find a house you like. Maybe you'll do so you do a 60-day escrow here. Maybe you do a 45-day escrow on the new house you're buying. But remember, some people may not know this, but when you do a 60-day escrow, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in escrow for 60 days. So let's say if you and the buyer just agreed that you want to shorten escrow to 45 days or 30 days, you can do that. Right. The benefit of being 60 days is that at least you know that you have 60 days. Because the problem is let's say if you do a 30-day or 45-day escrow, it's harder to do an extension of escrow than for you to reduce the time. Right. Because to reduce the time, all you have to do is like, hey, you know, is it okay if we close it in 15 days? Yes, that's fine. Perfect. All right. So then you say, okay, we're going to close 60 days or less. Right. as opposed to trying to extend escrow. Then sometimes you have to deal with the lender, and maybe you have some type of interest rate lock, and your lock's going to expire. So all of a sudden you don't have the ability to do that, or maybe the seller may not want to extend their escrow, and then you have to do. They may have you pay something called per diem, which means that you pay a certain amount each day until you close escrow. Yeah. So for me, rule of thumb would be to negotiate a longer escrow period when you are contingent. So then it gives you the opportunity to go and look for a house. And then once you find a house, you can always come back and say, hey, listen, I'm actually going to close in this house in 45 days. Can we close this one in 30 days or 37 days or whatever? So then what you do is close your house, and then you can actually close the other house the next day. That's actually possible. It's not like you have to wait a certain amount of days for the funds to kind of be sitting in your account. So no, you can actually go close your house on Wednesday and close in the next house on Thursday. You can do that, So that's what I recommend for my clients is when we are in the contingent situation, I want to make sure that their house gets in escrow before we actually go look at houses. Because the last thing I want to do is put you in that situation where it's like, hey, hey, your house is still not selling. We're still not escrow. I got to call the agent and cancel. Right. Or try to negotiate a longer escrow. And it's like, most of the time, sellers aren't going to want to do that because then you have to make sure that you're not going to remove your contingencies. You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, I can't remove my contingencies because the only way for me to buy this house is by selling mine. So just kind of put you in a complex situation. So like I said, what I do, I normally just negotiate a longer escrow up front. Do that. We find another house. See how that escrow goes. I go back to the buyer's agent and say, hey, listen, we're going to close an escrow on these days. We can shorten our escrow period down, and it works a lot better than to try to go out there and buy another house, and then all of a sudden you're kind of scattered because you got to get your house in escrow and get it sold. Yeah, definitely. And then from there, sometimes you even have to reduce the price of your house that you're selling. So then all of a sudden, then you're putting that in a weaker position. Right. Yeah. So that's just food for thought. Just to kind of let you guys know a strategy that can be implemented, a strategy that we've used time and time again, and it's worked. Right. So. Yep. And then there's also the rent back that you can also use as well. Yeah, 30-day rent back. And the good thing about that is just because you put it on the contract doesn't mean you have to do it. Like, for instance, like if you do a 60-day and 30-day rent back, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, shoot, man, I got to worry about being here this many days. Like, no, that's just an option. So because that's good because that means the buyer agrees to it. So it keeps as an option because, like I said, what if you were in a situation where you don't need the 30-day rent back? You can actually close on time and everything works out. But you want to make sure that the other side agrees to it. Because one of the things that's a pet peeve of mine is when you get into escrow and all of a sudden, the other side wants to change the terms. Right. It's like, oh, yeah, hey, you know what? We're actually contingent. Yeah, we need something else. It's like, why didn't you let us know that when you wrote the offer? Right. You know what I mean? Because I agree to your my client agreed to your offer as being a traditional transaction. You had a loan or you're buying in cash. And all of a sudden, it's a contingent offer. Right. And unfortunately, it happens a lot. I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen. We get this situation a lot. Like I'll have Wes cross-qualify an offer. He'll look at it and it's like, like something's not gelling right. Why? There's not enough money for them to be able to do this. And then he contacts the loan officer. He contacts the agent. The agent lets him know, like, oh yeah, they need to sell their house. Right. It's like, why wasn't that placed on the offer? Like, why didn't you let the other side know? And because it's going to sell quickly, and it's going to be in escrow listed a week. So I thought I'd have to disclose. Like, no, you have to disclose everything. You want to because the thing is, we are representing. Our job is to represent our clients. And both sides we want is a smooth and effortless escrow, a smooth transaction for both sides. When the first thing you do is to be misleading like that, it sets a horrible precedent of what can occur in the future. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if they lied about this, what's going to happen when we go into escrow even deeper? And not to mention, my client is going to have to agree to that contingent offer. So pretty much it goes back. It's like, hey, I know we have an accepted offer. Now it's not even an accepted offer because now you change the terms. So now we have to go back and see if my client wants to even accept this contingent offer. So then we're going back to square one. So just be honest. Just be transparent up front. Just let us know, like, hey, this is a contingent offer. This is what it is. Like, don't wait for us to accept the offer or have Wes have to do more due diligence and check, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, they don't have enough funds because if their account adds up, it doesn't add up to the 10% or whatever how much they're putting out.
Right.
So be transparent out there.
Yeah, they're just trying to slip one past the goalie.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the importance of, cross-qualifying the offers, because that's how you figure those things out.
Absolutely.
Because everyone's not going to be honest and forthcoming, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I know we like to believe everyone's, morally and ethically on the same level in this particular industry.
Absolutely.
But that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
People do try to give you the best, how can I put this? They give you the best version of the story.
Right.
Creative storytelling is
it's like kind of like dating, I guess, right? Not when we were dating, but I mean nowadays,
No.
I mean, because I met my wife like person to person. Like I actually met her out.
Right.
Like I didn't meet her like on a website or dating app or anything like that, where you can just type in stuff, right?
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, I like to read.
Mm-hmm.
I like to eat healthy. I like to do this. So all of a sudden, the person like pretty much falls in love with what you put on the
profile.
With the profile,
yeah.
And then they meet you in real life, and it's like, hey man, this is totally not who you are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of what you're doing when you're writing these, these fake offers.
Yes. Yes. Catfish the purchase contract.
Wes, we've been catfished again, man.
But we don't get catfish because we do our homework.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's just that's why it's so important to do the cross qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't verify it, it's not real. Not when you're when you're financing something.
Absolutely.
Everything has to be verifiable. I had one agent in particular. They were rolling around with this person who was apparently a multi-millionaire, whatever.
Right.
Wouldn't go through a pre-approval process with any lender. Hey, don't worry, I got plenty of money. Just showed the bank statements and all that. Don't worry, I got plenty of money.
Right.
Come to find out, when it's all said and done, he's finally putting an offer on the house, get ready to buy something.
Yes.
Wouldn't you know, he was fresh out of a bankruptcy.
Oh no.
Right. So as the as the realtor is telling me the story, I said, well, here's the lesson in that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much money you're worth. I don't care how much money you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you're depending on financing
right
to complete the purchase of the home, then they need to be pre-approved. That's it.
Absolutely.
If they're going to buy in cash, then really at that point you're just verifying that they have the cash and it's from seasoned, and sourced places. But outside of that, if someone needs to depend on financing, it does not matter how much money you have, because you have to get through the financing, which means an underwriter is going to have to approve you based on the information you provide.
Absolutely.
You need to get that? Happens all the time, man. I see Charles Barkley take a phone call on TNT all the time.
Oh, jeez, man.
But yeah, it does not matter. If you're going through financing, and I'll say that to you, even if you think you have great credit scores and you've got plenty of money in the bank and your income is there, I don't need to go through a pre-approval at this point. Yes, you really do. Because there are things as far as financing is concerned that you're thinking are, one way when an underwriter is going to look at it a different way. And that's how that's going to go. So it's not uncommon for people to think that they make, X amount of dollars per year. Then you get the tax returns and they've written off a bunch of their salary with unreimbursed employee expenses.
I hate when that happens.
Things like that can have an impact. Or, I've had people who have two jobs and they're like, yeah, I make, between the two of them, I make $80,000 a year. Okay, how long have you had job number one? 2 years. How long have you had job number two? 6 months. Okay, so all the income for job number two, take it off the table. Doesn't exist.
Right.
Because you haven't had that job for 2 years.
Yes.
It's just little things like that are going to, have an impact that you may not see coming. So just go out there, get the information, get the answers, get pre-approved. Like I said, I know you think you've got plenty of money and, you've got a great personality, so you're just going to get that loan because you're you. I get it. But not going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so like you said, at the beginning, Anaheim Hills Council, 30th Annual 4th of July Parade. Make sure you guys go to it. It's going to be a fun event. My wife and I will be there, and our daughter. So if you guys want to come up and say hi, we'll be there. You know, we're pretty friendly, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty friendly, right? You know, so yeah, maybe we'll hang out. You know, see the parade. My daughter likes to dance. You know, so she'll probably be dancing to music and stuff like that. So I like to dance too. So we'll all dance. We'll all have a great time. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys come to that. And also, as Wes was saying, you know, pre-approval is very important. You know, the cross qualification is very important. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure we don't get catfished. Right. Time is now. If you are a buyer, time is now. Right. If you are ready to go and you're confident and you know you want to buy a house, do it now, because there's no indication that home values are going to go down or interest rates are going to go down. The cost of waiting is real. Right, Wes?
Yeah, and if LeBron ends up coming to the Lakers, property values are going to go up by at least another 3%. No kidding.
Oh, my gosh. The LeBron effect, huh? The LeBron effect.
Well, he has that effect in Cleveland, but no, he won't have that impact in Hollywood, I can tell you that.
Yeah, not so much.
Hollywood's got a star or two holding up, so yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But like I said, make sure you guys do that. And as always, we appreciate you guys with your comments, your likes, your shares. Thank you, each and every one of you, for your support. Have a safe weekend. Have a safe and fun 4th of July, Independence Day. And, yeah, rock your red and blue. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rocking my red and blue, and I'm sure I'll rock my red and blue on Wednesday, too. Probably not going to wear a suit, though, because I'll be outside and it'll be hot.
Yeah, I might be hot. You still wear the bow tie, though. That goes with anything.
I guess I could, but we'll see. We'll see if I wear the bow tie.
Start a new trend.
Yeah, with shorts and the bow tie.
Yeah, what would Russell Westbrook do?
Oh, gee, Russell Westbrook would do a lot of things I won't do. Just saying. All right, guys. Well, thank you, like I said, once again for tuning in. Have a safe and happy weekend. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. If you guys don't have anything else to do, go to this event. It's freaking awesome. I'm going to put the information on the post here. So have a great time. Thank you guys for all the support. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to let Wes sign off.
All right. Be assertive. Be proactive. Have a great 4th of July and be safe out there.
All right.